got a crowd in here. Y'all were live just now, right? That music was, oh my gosh.
Happy birthday, hip hop.
How you doing? Good? Yeah? So yesterday was a big day, right?
It was one of my favorite days.
Favorite days.
August 11th, 1973, we celebrate 50 years of hip hop.
Yes, 50 years. And just the beginning, might I add, okay? So yesterday was a big day, and Amazon has something really amazing to celebrate that birthday and where we're going from there. So let's take a look at this amazing short called Generational Queens. Let's get another round of applause for that. That was dope. That was really great. So, Jameka, tell me a little bit about the inspiration for this, because this is it's fun to watch. I love hearing the reaction from the audience. That multi-generational, experience of the young women. I love that. She was kind of a baddie, right? Like, you're looking at these pictures of like their mom and just that whole experience. Tell me a little bit about how this came to life. What was the inspiration?
First, I want to start by saying that we were intentional in Amazon Music to ensure we had an all-black female cast.
Round of applause for that.
From our director to all of our actors, everybody behind the scenes, because we wanted to make sure that if we were going to tell a story, let's tell it right. When you think about hip-hop, when you think about music, it starts at home. That's where fandom starts. I fell in love with James Brown because my mother used to play it, and Marvin Gaye. And so sometimes you hear those songs that take you back. And so you see where the young ladies are playing a song and the mom just gets right in the character. She honestly go right back to the moment when she first heard the song. So the idea and inspiration was to show how music is generational. It transcends from family members to, that's how we live and we move and we express ourselves. So the idea around this was, how do we show people that music, hip hop was just, yes, it was born August 11th, but it never ended, and it won't, right? The evolution of music and how it travels. So you notice also in the film how they couldn't get it to work in a cassette player, but then they transitioned over to new style, which is the phone, to show that this music still lives and it carries on today. So for us, it was more about how do we bring the full story to life? Not just the beginning, the middle, but the whole story, and tell it through the voices of women. Shout out to Queen Latifah, the iconic legend. This is UNITY's 30-year anniversary. And so we salute her and we champion her, because that song was created during a time when women were not being respected in the game. And she took and pushed around boundaries and said, don't call me that. I deserve to be more. Wear your crown, sis. Be proud of it. And that song was monumental in hip hop when it was a very male-dominant industry. So we wanted to highlight female voices and create a space that let everybody know hip hop may have started with Kool Herc, but it didn't end. And women have been in the forefront of that the whole entire time.
Oh, that is powerful. That is powerful. So many intentional choices. Can you tell us a little bit about that creative process of and the intentionality behind that? I mean, the decision for it to be an intergenerational conversation, the cassette player, the photos. I love they're taking out the door knocker earrings. Like, what were the things that you were like, these elements had to be part of it to really get to this powerful place where we're watching this come to life?
No one wants to say it out loud, but I'm gonna say it. Hip-hop is the #1 exported thing in the world. When we think about fashion, when we think about food, when we think about culture, hip-hop has changed the world. There's no other genre of music that have done that. And so for us to really make sure that we evolutionize and share this story, we had to really go back and say, let's bring it all together. So you notice we had April Walker in there. Shout out to April Walker. The clothing brand, right? We went further and said, we're beyond, we're not just this, what you think, the negative part of the music. We have transcended the world. There's not one place in this world you go to and you don't feel, see, and breathe hip hop, right? And so this film, the inspiration around it was to show that we can create fans in our house by just going to Amazon Music, playing your favorite playlist, but more importantly, being able to showcase and highlight artists. So for us, it was more around how do we tell the full story, give the full perspective, but still pay homage to the history and declaration that hip-hop has given to this world.
Right. I love that. Love that. So this is a campaign for Amazon Music's 50 and Forever. And we're going to talk a little bit about 50 and Forever in just a second. But what I kind of love about this is you're watching this short and you kind of know where it's going, right? You almost already know the end. Like you see mom walk in, you're like, oh, mom about to catch them in her stuff. You know, like you're not necessarily wondering where it's going, but you're enjoying the whole journey, like every little part of it. Like, you know, I love the crowd was cracking up when they were looking at her like, not you out here, rapping the lyrics. So you really enjoy the ride rather than thinking so much about the end. Can you talk about that choice, and why it was sort of crafted that way to really focus on the journey rather than the beginning and the end of the film?
Music is a journey, right? I think about the first time I fell in love with hip hop. It was when I saw the video, How About Some Hardcore by M.O.P. And yeah, I'm rough and rugged like that. New York is in the building. And so when I first heard it and Billy Dance is on there rapping, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this energy is contagious. And so you think about that first moment when you fall in love with a song or a genre of music and how it takes you back. When a mom walked into the room, she was looking at her kids like, what y'all doing? But then she just heard the lyrics, you and I, she just went crazy, right? It took her back to an element. And I think that's what music does for us. That's what hip hop does for me. I think about when Q was spinning in Juice, or when I first heard, Not Tonight by Lil' Kim. Like I could go on and on. Miseducation by Lauryn Hill, Missy Elliott. Hip hop has really changed and curated who we are and whose we are as a culture, regardless if we want to give the credit or not. And so for us, it was like, how do we tell a story in a way that people understand it's a journey, right? You can love Lil Baby, but you can also still love Rakim, right? Like the MC part of it, right? Like it doesn't end and stop. Like I love Busta Rhymes, but I also love Sleepy Hollow, right? Like there's an opportunity for us to tell a story from generation to generation by still giving everybody the same credit. You can still have your top 5, even if it doesn't, dead or alive, even if it doesn't include artists from the past generations. 1973 until forever.
Yes. Dropping gems, okay? So it was, one of my favorite things was hearing the crowd response.
Yes. I loved it, by the way.
I just love that. What has it been like sort of just sharing this with audiences? What have people's responses been as you've shared this short with the masses?
So we debuted the film during Women's History Month at a function, and it was amazing, right? So all different age groups. And you can see people who don't know UNITY look like this. You see the ones who know it just start bobbing, right? And so I think it was interesting to see how people just went from here to there, from left to right, all edges of the spectrum. I think the thing that interests me the most, that was the most exciting, was we did Dreamville, and we did Strength of a Woman, and we did different places that we shared the film. And to see the excitement from the fans was phenomenal. The thing that made me most inspired is when people said, where can I go get it? Like, I didn't know Queen Latifah rapped, and I was shocked, like, what? And it's like, that's where she started, right? So I think that really the education around our legends and icons in this space is critical.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have to get them. We're going to have to make sure they know. They know what it is. They know where the Queen started. What I loved was we heard folks, like, as soon as the beat dropped, people were getting hyped and all of that. That's really cool. 50 and Forever. Let's talk about it. What is it? What does it mean? Where did it come from? Why 50 and Forever?
Amazon Music, we're intentional, right? We didn't want to come into a space and pretend as if we can relate or we can adapt, or we didn't want like a culture jacker. That's not who we are. What we want to think about is this: 1973 is where we started, but we don't end. So it's 50 today, 50 tomorrow, 50 and forever. For us, it was a way to say hip-hop will continue. Hip-hop is a legacy. Hip-hop is the culture, and we want to be true to it. We want to honor the pioneers. We want to give them their flowers while they're here. We want to embrace them. We want to support them. We believe in it. Hip-hop is a movement.
Amen. Yes. Okay, and just to one last question to close out. Why was it important for you to center Black women here?
Well, I'm gonna be biased. You ask me, Black women rule the world.
Yes, there we go. And ain't that a way to close out? That's a way to close out. Jameka, thank you so much. And shout out to Amazon Music for this incredible short, Generational Queens, y'all. You can find it on YouTube. And
You can find it on Amazon Music. Download the app.
yes, there we go.
Thank you. Shout out to Queen Latifah. Shout out to the Amazon Music team. Thank you for everybody having us.
Happy birthday, hip hop.